It was supposed to be a simple family dinner, a night of laughter, warmth, and celebration. Marcus Johnson had promised his kids, Ethan and Maya, that after a long week, they would go somewhere special. So he booked a table at La Fontaine Royale, one of the most exclusive restaurants in the city. La Fontaine Royale wasn't just a place to eat. It was a temple of wealth and prestige. Crystal chandeliers sparkled from above, velvet curtains draped the walls, and violins played softly in the background. The air smelled of roasted duck, truffle pasta, and expensive wine. Guests arrived in luxury cars, escorted by valets in white gloves. Inside, polished marble floors reflected golden light, and waiters moved like clockwork, balancing silver trays. Marcus walked in with his wife Denise and their 2 children. He wore a clean suit, not flashy, just respectable. Denise wore a simple dress, her hair tied neatly. Ethan, only 12, had tucked in his shirt nervously. And little Maya, just 8 years old, clutched her small purse with a smile. They looked like any ordinary family, but with dignity in every step. As they entered, the chatter in the restaurant softened. Heads turned. Some diners raised their eyebrows, and others whispered behind menus. One man leaned toward his wife and muttered, "Since when did they let everyone in here?" His wife smirked, sipping her wine. The hostess at the podium smiled politely. "Good evening. Welcome. Do you have a reservation?" Marcus replied, "Yes. Johnson, party of 4, 7 o'clock. She checked the book, nodded. "Yes, sir, right this way." But before she could move, a sharp voice cut through the air. "Hold on!" Mr. Richards, the manager, stepped forward. He was in his 50s, his hair slicked back with too much gel, his suit stiff, his eyes filled with arrogance. He placed a hand in front of the hostess. "There must be a mistake." Marcus frowned. #Meta, PubMed, sex 0.05. But she stayed strong for her children. Marcus took a breath. "Sir, what you're doing is illegal. Discrimination is against the law." Richards leaned in, lowering his voice but still loud enough for others to hear. "You think I care? Go eat at some fast food joint. That's more your style. This place isn't for you." A table nearby chuckled. Another man pulled out his phone, recording the scene like it was entertainment. Humiliation burned like fire in Marcus's chest. But before he could respond, Richards waved his hand sharply. "If you don't leave, I'll call security." The Johnson family turned, defeated. The children lowered their heads, ashamed of something that was never their fault. The room buzzed with whispers, satisfaction in some voices, pity in others. Marcus clenched his fists, his jaw tight. And just as they were about to step out the door, the heavy double doors of the restaurant swung open. Boots hit marble. 4 massive men in black suits entered in perfect formation. Sunglasses, earpieces, stone-cold expressions. Their presence was electric. Conversations died instantly. The violins stopped playing. Every head turned. The bodyguards. They didn't just walk, they commanded the room. Their shoulders broad, their steps synchronized, eyes scanning the hall like hawks. The diners who had been laughing now froze, forks hanging midair. A waiter nearly dropped a tray. Mr. Richards' face drained of color. What is this? Who are you?" Marcus turned slowly, his expression calm but sharp. A small smile tugged at his lips. "I tried to be patient, but you forced my hand." The largest bodyguard stepped forward, his voice deep and booming. "Mr. Johnson, are these the people who disrespected your family?" Gasps filled the air again. "Johnson. Mr. Johnson." The diners shifted uncomfortably, whispers racing through the hall. Marcus looked Richards straight in the eye. "Yes, this man humiliated my wife. He insulted my children, all because of the color of our skin." Richards stammered. Wait, you know these men?" Marcus stepped closer, his voice cutting like steel. Know them. These men work for me. I am Marcus Johnson, senior attorney for one of them. This is a disaster. This is not who we are. Marcus crossed his arms. This is who you are. Tonight proved it. The owner turned furiously to Richards. You're finished. Fired. Get out of my restaurant before I have you escorted. Richards stuttered, his face burning red, but the guards closed in. His arrogance crumbled. He was dragged out like the disgrace he was, while the same diners who had smirked earlier now watched with wide, guilty eyes. The Johnson family was seated at the finest table, directly under the golden chandelier. Waiters scrambled nervously, pouring drinks, offering the best dishes, stumbling over apologies. But Marcus held up his hand. Respect shouldn't come from fear. It should come because it's right. He looked at his son and daughter, smiling softly. Tonight, we eat with dignity. And so they did. The violins resumed, but quieter this time, almost ashamed. The room buzzed with silence, every diner reflecting on what they had just seen. Some looked down at their plates, guilt heavy in their hearts. Others stared at the Johnsons with newfound respect. But the lesson was carved into every corner of that restaurant. Never judge a family by their skin. Never assume who belongs and who doesn't. Because the moment you do, you might just end up humiliating yourself.